Today we're making potato leek soup. My potato leek soup has onions, leeks, and garlic, all three of which can really help heal your gut. Let's get started. So when working with leeks, the one thing you can be really sure about is that there's a bunch of dirt inside them. So there's all of these layers inside the leeks, and there's a bunch of dirt from them being in the soil. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to slice the leeks into thin circles like this, and I'm going to put the leeks in a glass bowl and fill it up with water. Okay, I have my leeks in my bowl of cold water. What's going to happen is all the dirt in the leeks is going to fall to the bottom of this bowl. So you have to really make sure you think this through. When we're ready to use the leeks, you can't just dump this out into like a strainer, because then all the dirt's going to go back on the leek. So something like this, a spider, is going to be very helpful to use. All right, so I have my organic uncured diced pancetta. I've got my onions, garlic, I got my parsley and my chives, my potatoes, and of course my leeks are still soaking. I'm gonna scoop them out with my spider and put them on a paper towel to dry. But I just wanted to show you that, you know, when you cook, it's so much easier to prep ahead and have everything ready. This is gonna put you in a really good spot and limit overwhelm. Start with some olive oil. And I'm going to start by cooking my pancetta. So anytime you're doing something like this and you have meat, you always want to start with your meat first, because that's going to give the rest of the dish a ton of flavor. So I'm going to brown this, and then I'm going to take it out and put it on a plate with a paper towel to drain out all the grease. But I'm going to leave the remaining fat in the pan here to continue cooking. The pancetta, you can see it's looking great. And I put my onions into the pot where the pancetta was. I didn't drain any of the fat out, because that's all going to be flavor. And you put the onions in. Always you want to salt and pepper as you go. I use Himalayan sea salt, so I recommend either Himalayan sea salt or Celtic sea salt. Those are the only two really good salts that are filled with minerals that your body needs. So salt and pepper, I'm going to let this brown a little, and then I'm going to add my leeks, let them brown a little, and then add my garlic. The onions have gotten nice and brown. I'm going to put in my leeks. I'm going to cook this down a little. I'm going to salt and pepper it again. And when this cooks down a little, then I'm going to add the garlic. I'm going to wait until I actually smell the garlic before I add in the potatoes. This way, whenever you smell the garlic when you're cooking, that's when you know you need to add your next ingredient or turn it off. Otherwise, the garlic is going to get bitter and burnt. Okay. I can smell the garlic, so I know it's time to move along. I'm going to put in my potatoes. I am using Yukon Gold potatoes. I've just, kind of quartered them. I did not worried about how finely chopped they are. They're going to go into the bath, and I'm going to put in some chicken broth here. If you want to keep this vegetarian, well, don't use the pancetta, and definitely use vegetable broth instead of chicken broth. But I'm just going to make sure I have enough here that's covering all the potatoes. And I'm going to let this come to a boil and reduce it slightly. We want the potatoes nice and cooked. We want them nice and soft. Once the potatoes are nice and soft, I'm going to put it. Okay, so this is where we are now. Everything's looking really good. It's boiling nicely. The potatoes are cooking. I'm just going to go ahead and throw in the parsley and the chives right now. And we're going to let everything mix together. Sorry about that. Let everything mix together. And once the potatoes are thoroughly cooked, right? Like even just taking a knife and sticking it into a potato to make sure it's nice and soft. These are still not soft enough. So I'm just going to let this continue to cook for another 5 or 10 minutes, and we're gonna pull it all together. Alrighty, potatoes are really nice and soft now, and I have my emulsion blender here. If you don't have an emulsion blender, you can by all means throw this in a blender, but you have to be careful with hot liquid. Either way, I've turned my stove off while I'm doing the emulsion blender, and I'm going to mix this up until it's really smooth and creamy. In my opinion, there's no need for any half and half or cream added here. It's going to get really smoothie. One thing we are going to put in is some pecorino, because I pretty much put it in everything I cook. So I'll show you what it looks like in just a sec. All right, so I got Brendo helping me out here with the emulsion blender. It's getting nice and creamy, you can see. One thing I forgot to tell you is I usually do like to put a jalapeno in my potato leek soup. I just didn't have one, so I put some crushed red pepper flakes in here. You just want a little heat in the back of the throat, and either way will do, but I like the jalapeno because it helps with the green too. But we'll show you when it gets, we want it real nice and creamy. Maybe a little chunks of potato here and there, but for the most part, you want this nice and creamy. So we're going to continue to blend. Okay, so we're at smooth consistency here, and I just added the Romano cheese. Just going to stir it around, and then we'll plate it with the pancetta. Bon appetito.